Hi, boys and girls. Today is Thursday, day 101, and I'm Mrs. Hofer, and we are going to do some stories together. But first, we're going to work on just reviewing your sight words quickly. You have this page to do at home, and I also need you to practice your sight words with someone. So you're going to take those flashcards from Monday or make your own and go through them. Make sure you are practicing your sight words every day. So quick, we're going to just go through our words. We have G-O. We're going to drive, go. Go. All right. Remember this one? We're going to point and say here, here. And this one we're going to point. And of course, if we're pointing up, it's easy to know that UP is the word up, up. Not using the pictures this time. We're using just the regular flashcards. All right, and then on this one, we're going to give the peace sign. We're going to say they. They are sisters is what I think it said on the back. All right, and this one, S-O-O-N, is soon. Soon. You're going to point to your watch and say soon. And our last one is F-O-R, and we're going to pretend like we're hammering the sign into the ground, for sale. For. We're just going to say the word for. Okay, but I want you to practice them at home too, okay? So you're going to practice your cards at home. All right, and finish that paper. The next thing I want you to do today is to do this rhyming page. Do you remember what rhyming is? Rhyming is when two words sound the same at the end of the word. So we could say, like real easy, cat and hat. So we can go k, at, k, at. The at part is the part that rhymes. So I have for you the word, there's a picture of a plate, bed, kitten, lamp. And then these cards are in there too. You're going to match, find the one that says skate. Which picture does skate rhyme with? Skate, plate, skate, bed, skate, kitten, skate, lamp. Okay, so the one that rhymes, you're going to write this word on the line. That's right, it's skate, plate. Okay, so you have these pictures, and I want you to write the rhyming word on the page. Okay, so we did skate. Now we have mitten. And you can pause this if you want to just use the cards that I have, and then find the one that it rhymes with. Kitten, mitten, bed, mitten, lamp, mitten. Did you hear the one that rhymed? We already found plate. Okay. Yeah, that's right. It was kitten, mitten. So you would write the word mitten right there. Then we have the word sled. Which one does sled rhyme with? Sled bed or sled lamp? Okay, so sled says ed. So what other picture has that ed sound? That's right, it is bed. And our last card is stamp. Stamp. There should only be one picture left if you've been following along, and that is the lamp. Let's see if that rhymes. Stamp, lamp. They both say amp. Okay, and you write that in there. All right, so today I want to read to you this story called The Three Snow Bears. And in this story, it's written by Jan Brett, and she was the one that we read. Well, she did the illustrations and We read some books from her a couple weeks ago. You probably remember the pictures look very similar to this because she also is the illustrator. So I'm going to read to you this book called Three Snow Bears. And maybe it will remind you of another story that you've heard before. Come back, Aluki shouted as her huskies floated out to sea. Oh no, she knew that although an ice floe is a good place to fish, it is a bad place to lose a dog team. Not far away, a snow bear family had just started to eat their breakfast, but it was way too hot for Baby Bear. Owie! Baby Bear yowled. My breakfast burned my mouth. We'll go for a stroll and let the soup cool, Mama Bear said. Aluki was running along looking for her dogs when she came upon the biggest igloo she had ever seen. Who lives here? She wondered. Do you know who lived there? Aluki ducked inside. Right away, she smelled something delicious. Across the room, she saw a big bowl, a middle-sized bowl, and a small bowl. And surely the good smell was coming from the three bowls. Aluki took a sip from the biggest bowl. Ow, she cried, too hot. She took a sip from the middle-sized bowl. Ew, too cold. She tipped the littlest bowl and drank up every drop. Not too hot and not too cold. In the next room, Aluki spotted 3 pairs of boots, beautiful boots, standing in a row. She put on the biggest boot. Too big, she said. She put on the middle-sized boot. Too fancy, she said. She put on the littlest pair. Just right, she said, wiggling her toes in the soft fur lining. Aluki walked into the last room and found a long sleeping bench piled high with fur covers. Heat from an oil lamp warmed her cheeks and made her sleepy. Time for a nap, she thought. She crawled under the highest mound of covers. Too lumpy, she grumbled. She tried the middle bed with the furry fringe cover, but sank down so far that she could hardly breathe. Too soft, she said. She rolled into the smallest sleeping place. The furry blanket was cozy and warm, and the pillow was just her size. Just right, Aluki murmured, and she was asleep before she could take off her boots. If Aluki hadn't fallen asleep, she might have heard her dogs barking happily. Look who found them. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear had spotted them adrift in a strong current and gone out to save them. The Snow Bear family was pushing Aluki's dog team back toward their igloo and safety. Papa Bear crawled into the igloo and saw his big bowl sitting in a pool of spilled soup. Someone has been tasting my soup, he roared. Mama Bear rushed in and saw that her soup had been sloshed around too. Someone has been sipping my soup, she growled. Someone has found my soup, sputtered Baby Bear in her high, squeaky voice, and they ate it all up! Papa Bear ran into the next room and saw his boots in the middle of the floor. Someone has been trying on my boots, he boomed in his big bear voice. Mama Bear put on her fancy boots. Someone has had these boots on, she huffed, and the fur is all bunched up. Baby Bear saw that the boots had disappeared. Someone has taken my boots and left these not as good ones, she wailed. The bears ran into their bedroom. Who are they going to find there? Someone has been sleeping in my bed, Papa Bear bellowed. Someone has been sleeping in my bed too, Mama Bear cried. Baby Bear peeked at her little bed and squeaked. Someone has been sleeping in my bed, and here she is. Aluki opened her eyes and saw the 3 bears' noses only inches away. She hopped out of bed and dove between Papa Bear's legs. Quicker than a seal, Aluki ran from room to room until she burst outside. Her huskies bounced around, barking and smiling their doggy grins. Aluki and her dogs flew over the frozen ice. Dodging ridges and cracks, she looked back to wave thank you to the snow bears. She couldn't see them, but she heard a big, gruff voice, a middle-sized voice, and a high, squeaky voice calling to her. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Did that story remind you of another story you've heard? It probably did. It probably reminded you of a book called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It was very similar, wasn't it? And in just a second, we're going to compare those two stories and see how they're the same and different. So I have just a quick little book of Goldilocks and the Three Bears in case you've never heard it. Once upon a time, a family of three bears decided to go for a walk. They shut the door of their tidy house and off they went. By and by, a girl named Goldilocks saw their house. Wait, what a nice home, she cried, and then she opened the door and went inside. In the kitchen, Goldilocks found 3 bowls of porridge. She tried the big bowl. It was too hot. She tried the middle bowl. It was too cold. And finally, she tried the little bowl. It was just right, so she ate it all up. Slurp. In the living room, Goldilocks found 3 chairs. She tried the big one. It was too hard. She tried the middle one. It was too soft. Finally, she tried the little chair. It was just right, so she sat down. But the chair broke into bits. Crack! In the bedroom, Goldilocks found 3 beds. She tried the big one. It was too hard. She tried the middle one. It was too soft. Finally, she tried the little bed. It was just right, so she lay down and went to sleep. By and by, the bears came back to their house to have breakfast. Someone has been eating my porridge, said Papa Bear and Mama Bear. And someone ate mine all up, cried Baby Bear. The bears went into the living room to sit down. Someone has been sitting in our chairs, said Papa Bear and Mama Bear. And someone broke mine into bits, cried Baby Bear. The bears went to the bedroom to lie down. Someone has been sleeping in our beds, said Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Mama Bear. And someone is still in mine, cried Baby Bear. And with that, Goldilocks opened her eyes and screamed, Yikes! Then, quick as a wink, she ran out the door, and the 3 bears never saw that rude girl again. Okay, so now we're going to compare Goldilocks. Let me get a magnet. So that one's going to go over here. And then the 3 bears, I can't clip it up there, but I got to. Let's see. The 3 bears we can put on this side. There we go. Okay, and so you have a paper that looks like this. And I just kind of made this one up here. Okay, so if you want to write the titles, you can, but you don't need to. You can maybe ask your mom or dad or somebody older to do that, or you can write it, but it's not that necessary. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to look at what is the same about the books and what is different about the books. So this circle is for the 3 snow bears, and this circle is for Goldilocks. Now, in the middle, that's for what is the same. So if both stories had it, we're going to draw our picture there. And if only the Three Snow Bears story has it, we'll put it here. And if only Goldilocks, we'll put it here, okay? So let's first off start thinking about some of the story elements, like the setting. The setting is the, well, for Three Snow Bears, it was basically the igloo, right? And the cold. So we're going to draw an igloo for the Three Snow Bears. And that was not in Goldilocks, so it's over here all by itself. But in Goldilocks, where were they? Right, they were in a house or a cottage, the Three Bears house. So we're going to draw a house on this side for Goldilocks. Okay. And then let's think about the characters. So in the story, the Three Snow Bears, who were the characters? We had Aluki, right? She was a girl. Did we have a girl in Goldilocks and the Three Bears? We did, right? We had Goldilocks. So even though they weren't the same girl, they're both girls. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put the girl in the middle because both stories had a girl. Okay. Both stories also had three bears. They had the mama bear, the papa bear, and the baby bear. So I'm going to draw just the heads of my bears because I don't have a lot of room. So we have the papa bear, the baby bear, or mama bear, and the baby bear. I just did their heads. Okay, so that was the setting and the characters. Were there any other characters in our story? The Three Snow Bears had somebody extra in it. Do you remember? That's right, it was her husky dogs. So I'm just going to put a little dog over here. I don't know. Let's see. That's my dog. Kind of looks like a bear dog. Maybe he needs not a round face. There. There's my dog. Okay. Now let's talk about what happened in the story. So in both stories, the bears started off eating and they had bowls, right? So that was in both stories. So in the middle, I'm going to draw a bowl with a spoon. Okay. So that was in both stories. After the bears leave and Goldilocks or Aluki come in, first she tries their porridge or their soup, and then in Goldilocks, she sat down on what? She sat down on chairs. Did she sit down on chairs in the Three Snow Bears? No. So we're just going to draw a chair over here. Okay, so there's our chair. And then in the Three Snow Bears, after she tried the porridge, do you remember what she did? That's right. She tried on their boots. Right. And they didn't have boots in the Goldilocks story, so we don't have to put any boots on that. So she tried on some boots. Okay. And then after she tried on the boots, she went and went to sleep in their bed. Right. So did she go to sleep in the Three Snow Bears? Right. And did she also go to sleep in Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Yes. So we need a bed in both. And we could even draw Goldilocks asleep in the bed because she was sleeping in both stories in the beds, right? Yeah, and in both stories, Goldilocks ran away. So if you can think of more things, you can add to both of those. So remember, this part of the circle is only for the Three Snow Bears, and this part of the circle is only for Goldilocks. And the part that's in the middle is what's the same. Yeah, that's called comparing and contrasting, and we used a Venn diagram. So maybe we'll do that again another day, but for today, that's all, and I will see you tomorrow.